Hello again, my people. Today we're going to talk about a couple of websites that you can go to practice after you're done everything else. So if you finish whatever you're supposed to do for the day, you can go to these two websites to practice sight singing, to practice reading rhythms and notes, different things, all kinds of things. So I'll show you a little bit of each of them today. So to start with, we're going to look at Sight Reading Factory. To get to it, you just type in sightreadingfactory.com and you'll come to a page that looks like this. Then you're going to click on Sight Read for free. It brings you to this page. Most of the time, you're going to either be looking at rhythm only, which means you're going to clap the rhythm, or voice family, which means you're going to sing the notes. You can take a look at all of them, but these are the two that I would suggest to start with. So we're going to look at rhythm only. If I click on that, you can see that it tells us that we're in rhythm only up here at the top. This is going to tell us what level we're working on, level 1 being the easiest, and then the time signature. To start with, I would use only time signatures that have a 4 at the bottom, because that means your quarter notes are going to be worth 1 beat, which is where we're starting our learning. The number on the top tells you how many beats are in each measure. So if there's a 3 at the top, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. If there's a 4 at the top, you will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you kind of get the idea of that. So you would click on a level, and it tells you, once you click on a level, what kind of notes, what kind of extras are in the rhythms that you would be reading. So if you hover over the 1, it tells you that you're going to have whole notes, half notes, dotted half notes, quarter notes, dotted quarter notes, the same in the rests. And then at the bottom it tells you you're going to have ties, which is when you have 2 notes with a curved line underneath that tells you that you hold them together just like they're one note. If you go to level 2, it moves up in a little bit harder rests, more dynamics, things like that. So you can see what each of the levels are. I would start on 1 just to make sure you know what you're doing. So then it clicks into this. It asks me to pick a time signature. You can pick just one. Right now the multi-select is off, so you can pick one time signature. If I click on I could pick more than one. I'm just going to start with 4-4. Now, to start with, I would go with this free play, and it brings you to some measures. You can change the tempo here, make it faster or slower. To see if slower is probably easier. So if you want to go slower, you would just click the down arrow here, the up arrow to make it faster and more of a challenge. So you need to look through it. We've got 4 beats to the measure. We've got quarter notes and half notes, and then a whole note. So you would just go through and you would clap it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on until you get to the end. Then when you're done, you can push this play button up here and it will play it back and you can see if you did it correctly. And so on. Notice that I clapped it a lot slower than the example gave us. So if I needed to go a little slower again, I would put the tempo down a little bit. You can change things here. You can change things here. You can go back and try the other ones. For example, back up. Voice family. If I wanted to do that one, I would pick basically the kind of notes I would want to use. If I sing higher notes, I would probably click soprano, lower notes for alto. If your voice is a male voice that's already changed, you might want to look at some of the others. I'm going to start with soprano. You can just pick a key signature. Major keys and minor keys differ in that the minor keys are the ones that sound kind of spooky, like a Halloween song or something you would hear in a mystery movie. That kind of thing would be minor key. So I would probably start with a major key. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this. Start free play again, and it gives me this. Over here you have something extra. This is a tuning fork, picture of a tuning fork, and when you click on it, it's going to give you your first note. So now I'm going to start here with la, and you can sing it on just la's. La, 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 and so on. Or you could challenge yourself and do letter names. C, D, E, F, E, D. It's another way to do it. So you can do that. If you really want to try some cool things, you could try some solfege, like do, re, mi, and so on from there. But there's lots of different things you can do with each one. Again, you can change the tempo, and when you're done, you can play it. And so on. So that's a good one to try. Now it's up to you to try other things. You can go back and you can do another exercise once you're done this one. You can go on to the next one, try a different one. Again, you can change tempo, you can change, or you can use this to play your first note. This plays the example. And if you click over here, you can eventually change what instrument you want to use. You can go all the way back to the beginning. So again, you can come back to this page and you can try piano. For those of you who might know a little bit of piano, you can do the same kind of thing. Just play around with it, but please do, when you're done an assignment, try this one out. Musictheory.net. Again, we have musictheory.net, and it will bring you to, let me get rid of this lessons thing so you can see the original screen. Okay, this is the first screen, and if you click on different things, this part will give you lessons. If you look straight up here, it's probably the ones you want to use are in these first two. The lessons, if you click on it, it gives you all kinds of different lessons that you might want to work on. Okay, staff, clefs, and ledger lines, note duration. These are good things to practice on once we have a set of notes and then we're doing bell ringers. These will help you to practice them so that you know what you're doing by the time you get to our quizzes assignments. Exercises are the actual practice of these different things. You could take a look at note identification, and all you have to do is look at it. We know this is on the fourth line, so we go, every good boy does. This is a D flat. So we would just click on D flat. It tells us that it's right, and so on. So this one has a number of different exercises in all kinds of different things, so you can pick the ones that you want to try. But there are plenty of these things to give you lots of practice and keep you plenty busy. These are all the actual kind of notes, directions that you can look at to make sure you know what you're doing before you do the exercises. So try each of those out when you are finished your work.